Since the beginning of time, the river has etched its mark on our landscape. It has written history with its course and rewritten it with its power. For some, it's how we got here. For many, it's why we stayed. In the spring of 1986, a handful of local people put into motion a plan to create a lasting legacy for the people of the Inland Empire. Something that would not only build for the future, but would borrow from the past.
The basic concept of the Greater Spokane River Centennial Trail is that it will be a 12-foot wide paved path. The trail itself will extend for approximately 39 miles throughout the Greater Spokane area, extending from Riverside State Park all the way to the Idaho border. And then the second half of the trail will be in the Idaho side, about 20 miles.
The Spokane River Centennial Trail will follow an ancient route along a river which for centuries carried Indians, fur traders, and missionaries, and established civilization in the Inland Empire. As we blaze the trail, we hear echoes of the past.
I knew him as a boy. I served at Cataldo's Diamond Jubilee as a Jesuit Mass in St. Aloysius Church. I was the altar boy there with him in the sanctuary. On his first visit, of course, Cataldo was with Indians, and this would have been in 1866. And the Indians said that they had something to show him. As they approached the site, he could hear the roar of the falls a long distance away. Everything else, of course, was silent, very, very silent, and it was autumn, and came up on a bluff on the north side of the river where the falls were. And Cataldo said he was tremendously impressed.
Recognizing the importance of river travel, the Northwest Company built a fur trading post in 1810 at the apex of the Spokane and Little Spokane rivers. Spokane House was the first permanent white settlement in Washington and was, for a while, the social and trade center of the inland Northwest. With a dance hall and a racetrack, the post was a welcome sight to travelers in the land of silence and prairie grass. Antone Plant built a ferry crossing in the 1850s, and a foot traveler who could afford the 50-cent fare would cross in style. When A.C. Kendall built a bridge upriver from Plants and charged the same traveler 25 cents, he brought free enterprise to the Spokane Valley. Plant and Kendall's crossings are still there and will be made more accessible by the Centennial Trail. A modern traveler's brush with history.
One of the big assets in Spokane, of course, is the river goes right through town. And to try to really enhance that with a corridor that is set aside for people that are not driving their cars, I think that makes the most sense of all.
In Eugene, Oregon, a similar plan has produced a trail treasured and traveled by many.
By preserving the waterfront and making the waterfront a useful transportation corridor for both people who walk and for bicyclists, it really improves the livability of the city tremendously.
It's just super. It's kind of a community thing more than it is a personal thing. It's super, you know, to run with other people. It's like racing every day. So.
People come up to me all the time and say, oh, I just think this trail system we have is wonderful, and they're very pleased with it, and tell all their friends, I'm from Eugene and we have bike trails.
It's a nice change of pace. It fits the community here in that it's a nice, easy alternative way to get around town, stress-free, and it suits the environment.
It's like going to Paris and seeing the Eiffel Tower. You come to Eugene, you go to the bike path.
In Spokane, we blaze our own trail, using Eugene as a guide. And as our trail takes shape, everyone prepares for the journey.
Anytime that you live in a community, you want to see quality of life. And this trail is going to provide access to recreational opportunities to everybody.
We have walked along edges of highways, right along the fog line. What is nice is getting out and seeing the community. You drive through it and you don't really see it. And what is really nice is walking where there's no cars and the peacefulness.
We lack the opportunity in regards to safety for walking and jogging and even bicycling. And I think this trail system is going to provide that safety in a combination with scenery.
And it's very important to the horsemen to get a designated place that we can ride and be assured that it will be open. I'm real enthused about the trail, and I think most horsemen are.
As you go into an area like the river, you suddenly realize instead of just driving by on the river, this is my river. And it is rare that any group has a river of this quality this close to town. We are very lucky to have it. Each of us who comes out on the river realizes that it takes individual support from you, from myself, the general population of Spokane. If they can come out and view this and say, this is a super thing for us, that's how we'll get this trail done.